Well, welcome back, my friends, all to another rousing rendition. Choir boys, outdoors. Another one, Scab. Y'all know we keep it going like that. This is the Spartan Harsey Fighter from Spartan Blades. Now it's in 1095 CROVAN. I believe this is one that K-Bar makes for them. I could be wrong. If I am, nobody should be surprised. Bill Harsey is one of my top 3 favorite designers of all time because he designs blades that work. Whether you want to do some camping with them, some stabbing with them, a little fighting with them, a little show off with them, he designs clean, workable blades. They're easy to use. Now, let's go over the specs really quick and then we'll kind of deep dive the thing. This is amazing in hand. Now we stabbed the tire there. I've already stabbed it in a few spots. Y'all see that. So what I tried to do here is just point them out to you where I'm going to stab. I do this for a couple of reasons. To check my grip, see how it grips, see if there's any slippage there. Put a little pressure on the tip. This is a 10-ply trailer tire, so it is stout. But at the same time, enough pressure and the knife should go through, and it does quite easily, and it cuts it very easily. So the overall length of this bad boy is 11. I'm going to go with 11 5/8. Now I'm pulling these measurements. The blade length, about 6 1/4 is what I'm reading. The cutting edge is right at 6 inches. The blade width is right at 1 3/8 inches. That goes all the way out to the edge. The blade stock itself, let's see if we can get a good measurement here. I'm going to go with right at 3/16 at the handle, and then it tapers down nicely. It comes with 2 nice fullers there. It's a clip point. The handle scales themselves, and when I say that, I'm measuring the actual handle scales, are right at 5 3/8. The inner grip varies. Now, in the handle, it goes up to 3 3/4 inches. If you utilize the pommel, which it was designed for you to do, it goes all the way down to 4 3/4. So there's plenty of hand space there. The handle thickness at the palm swell is right at, let's see here, right at 7/8 inches thick. It feels really, really good in hand. It's got some nice jimping on the back there. Guys, typically what I do with a knife, now this is a fighting knife. Most of the weight rides in the hand so you can make quick, fast slashes. I say this all the time, so I'm not just going to be redundant. When I do my demonstrations, tests, whatever you call them, there's nothing scientific we do. We cut a bunch of shit, we stab some stuff, and I don't say that to be funny, but I say it to be honest. With a fighting knife, I try to show it just like I would any other knife. Now, we did a little more stabbing with this knife. We did some different things, and we do that. But at the same time, for me, a knife needs to be workable. It needs to be versatile. Because at my age, I'm just going to shoot you. Let's just be real. If I got a knife fight you, something's gone really, 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 really wrong. This would be a knife I'd be glad to do it with because of the balance point, the weight, the sharpness. It came in really sharp. Very impressed with that. It came in with a toothy edge, which for me and the channel, it works better, right? Some people like that slick, polished edge. When I talked to Curtis, when we had him on Blade Talk with Scab and Joe, and check out that Blade Talk. I'll try to put a link to it in the description. And check out Joe from the Steel Mindset, my partner on Blade Talk with Scab and Joe. But when we had Curtis on, we were talking about, and John Stitt actually, that the 1095 CROVAN does better with a toothy edge. It really does. A couple of the things that stood out to me and stand out to me with Bill's designs, right, is the handle, the comfort of the handle. I don't give a shit what steel you use. I don't care if it's a super steel. I don't care if it's one of the classics. I don't care. if I can't hold on to the son of a bitch, it's worthless to me. Bill's handles are very comfortable in hand. Now, this little thing right here started off having fun, just kind of messing around as a joke, and I've got to make me a better one. But one thing I've learned from this, or a couple things that I've learned from doing this little demonstration here, one, we're sticking it in. That's a beach mat wrapped around some foam, wrapped around a couple of towels with 2 or 3 rolls of duct tape. So what I like to do is stab it, stick it, see how the knife flows. I am not a knife fighter, never been trained. You can tell that by watching me. But I've used the knife enough to know how to hold it, how to handle it. Now you see there with that little tug, that's why I like doing it. I have been cut. I won't call it like deep stab, but I had a guy get me a couple times. But anybody that knows anything knows when you insert the knife, if it goes in the muscle at times will tighten up and make it difficult to pull out. Also, depending on what your opponent is wearing, does the knife get jammed up? No, it didn't. It does have a sharpening choil at the bottom, which is always a bit of a concern, but something that they did that I like is they slanted the choil towards the edge so it would slide right off. So it's not going to grip. It's like it goes from a little bit of a ricasso to an angle to the blade, and I think that was an ingenious design. I did a lot of stabbing because with a fighter, you're going to slash, you're going to stab, right? This thing was incredible with the stabbing. Now, again, here, I've had people, ask why tire tread or think it's funny. Listen, tire tread is an incredibly tough medium. Some of it's reinforced, some of it's not. But it gives you a good idea, right? And I don't do psycho stabs. We use anywhere from quarter inch up to half-inch tire tread. See how many pieces we can stab. See what kind of penetration you can get. Now, this is one of those air potatoes. In Florida, it is an invasive species. I would not advise eating one, but it gives you the density of a potato, really a lot thicker than a potato, the thickness. So it's kind of a food prep type thing. The knife had zero problem doing that. I wore a glove throughout this because I knew I'd be stabbing more, and typically I don't. But we've had a little cool snap come in, not to where it would affect anything other than these old bones and these old joints. The other side is this. Spartan, the guys who own Spartan started off as operators, right? So when they make a knife, their priority, their training is going to kick in, right? This isn't a bushcrafting knife. To me, this is a combat utility knife, and they are well versed in knife usage. Also, I believe that part of that with Bill too is designing a knife that works well with a glove. Now, I know that I talked all the way around my elbow to get to my ass on that, but y'all know what I'm saying. I have a couple buddies, one buddy that's really a good friend to the channel who's spent a lot of time in the SEALs. And so I get some insights from him from time to time. So a knife not only has to be good in hand, in the bare hand, but it needs to be workable in a gloved hand in that situation. Also, with camping, working in the yard, and that's more what I'm going to do. Here we're just doing some push cuts. I want to know that if it's chilly or doing these knife reviews. I get asked a lot, what are you going to do with that knife? I'm going to review it. That's what I do with knives, right? I mean, to be honest with you, that's what we do. We're not the QVC. We're not a knife sales channel. But I want to give you some good looks and some good demonstrations and some real world use that you're actually going to use it for. This knife, while it is a fighter, while it's balanced that way, while it has the attributes it needs for that, and let me say this too, the coating on here held up really, really, really well. Now, these are short-term demonstrations and reviews, so don't get it twisted. I'm not saying I'm a guy that's an expert in this or that, this would long-term reviews, right? Long-term use. I'm a guy that if you're in a shitty situation, your mystical survival situation, and you look over and there's this knife, you pick it up, how easy would it be to use, right? Or you're going camping or you're doing whatever. Holding the knife, manipulating the knife. That's kind of what I gear my stuff around. Right here, y'all know how much I enjoy making spears and punji sticks for the neighborhood kids. it's twofold. It gives them something to do and keeps them well armed, and it helps me practice my knife skills. This segment is a little longer. I'm just showing it to you in its entirety. Now, this could be a spear. It could be a survival stick. It could be a tent peg. It could be a lot of things. This knife, I said in the beginning, was very versatile. And if you look at all the things we've done and all the things we've cut and everything we've done from the extension cord, and guys, the extension cord thing is this. It was part of my work history, locating underground utilities. But again, in a tactical environment, you may have to use your knife for other things. You might have to strip some wire. You might have to cut some wire. You might have to do some other things. This knife handled it well. Anything from food prep, which again, I've got to do more of that, but food prep. I also believe if you needed to do a little skinning and caping, this knife is more than capable of doing that. Again, it's a well-designed knife, and Bill is kind of the go-to when it comes to these style knives. He's worked with everybody in the industry, as far as I'm aware, from the 70s on. So he has that knowledge. He has that experience. And then you pair him up with some guys who just aren't going to accept any old bullshit coming through, the guys from Spartan, and you've got a hellacious team. As I've been doing the narration here, guys, I'm just kind of playing with the knife in my hand, just kind of holding it in all different configurations, blade down, blade up, stabbing, hammer, just kind of moving it around. And the thought just hit me, really, honestly, as I'm doing this, there's not one knife position, one grip on here that I've done, whether it's in the review or just standing here, that's uncomfortable. It's got a nice little guard, which gives you some protection. It's got that nice little ramp jimping, but neither get in the way as you're trying to manipulate the knife. Would I carry it? Hell yeah. The Defense is one of my all-time favorite blades. This is along that lines, and I'm going to show you a comparison of the two at the end. Now, they're different. They're different, but they're similar. So, yeah, hell yeah, I'd carry it. Guys, listen. There was a time in this country where 22 veterans a day took their own lives. Now, stats here, we're at the holiday, or we're at the weekend. So that number is going to bump up into the 30s, which is insane. That's why here on this channel, I focus on the number 0. Anything over 0 is simply unacceptable. Vets, we love you. Man, you have a place here. Guys, I back the blue. And it gets me a little blowback, and that's okay. I don't shove it down your throat. And let me throw a quick shout out in there to the New York State Corrections guys. Shout out to them and Bobby Shue. Thoughts and prayers are with you guys. I'm not going to shove it down your throat. Something I believe in, whether you do or not, I'm not arguing with you over. I respect you enough not to do that. Finally, if you are an addict, and I am, Lord knows I am, never quit quitting. Well, I'm Scat. You're not. And I'm gone, son. Bill, Spartan, y'all killed it, man. Love it.